Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Ken Coleman, host of The Ken Coleman Show, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book Paycheck to Purpose, career and jobs and work expert, is my co-host today. So if you want to talk about those subjects, he's here for you. And anything else, the phone number is 888-825-5225. We'll talk about you right in front of you. Jordan is in Salt Lake City. Hey, Jordan, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Sure. What's up?
Well, I've been talking with my wife about something for a while. We have an opportunity to go and house sit for her family down in another city. And we also have our condo almost paid off. So we're in between decisions of deciding to sell it and really roll that into a new home, or to rent it out and, again, almost paid off. So we collect rents on that and be able to use that to pay for a home as well. So kind of in crossroads there, and figured to get your opinion on it.
Okay, so you're moving to a better house. The only question is whether you're going to stop in between along the way and house sit for a little bit.
Right, well, we are going to house it, but the question is...
Oh, so the only question is whether to keep the condo or not.
Yeah, keep the condo or rent it out and really take the rents without a payment on it.
Yeah, so how much do you owe on it?
Right now we owe about $38,000 left.
Oh, good. Good for you. When will it be paid off?
We'll pay it off within the next few months or so.
Okay, good. Good. And what's your household income?
About $100,000 a year.
Okay. And what will the property cost that you're going to buy probably later?
Ooh, that's tough. We're probably looking in the range of between $300,000 and $400,000 for the next home.
Okay. And you don't have that, and you won't be getting that anytime soon, making $100,000. Right?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. So the net result of keeping the condo is you're going to borrow more on the new property. So it's as if you're borrowing on your new property to buy a rental condo. You follow?
Yeah.
You follow that logic?
Yeah.
So
Yes,
given that logic, that says we're selling the condo.
Okay.
Because if you had a house, let's say you had a $300,000 house and you owed $100,000 on it, and you called me up and said, I want to borrow $90,000 to buy a rental condo against my personal residence, I would laugh at you, right? Wouldn't I?
Sure. Yeah.
And in essence, that's the net effect of this discussion if you keep the condo. So you didn't mean for it to be that way, but you just didn't. I'm reverse engineering on you to make you see the logic of where I'm going. So I love the idea of rental property. I love real estate, but I'm not going to keep a condo and as a result borrow more on my next property. So.
Yeah, I think you're right. And what people need to think of when you lay this out is, what is advancing me further down the road towards my financial goals? And selling this condo does that. They get to upgrade, massive down payment, less of a hassle. It's just a win all the way across the board.
Yeah, and you get the next house paid for real fast.
That's exactly right.
Nick is in Chattanooga. Hi, Nick. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, how's it going?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So my prayer's been answered. I got a promotion at work, and I'll be doing an apprenticeship of sorts. And ultimately, 5-7 years from now, I want to have my own business, but start out as like a side hustle. And I want to know, what steps would you take, knowing that's my end goal? What would I do from now until then? What would be your advice on that?
So what business are you in now? What's the apprenticeship in?
It would be electrical work, like a lineman.
Okay. And is the goal to start your own company in that same space?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So how can you do that on the side? Is there any kind of, it comes down to this. How do you do that on the side without burning yourself out and then making sure that you aren't in any way poaching clients from your current employer. That's the key. And so as long as there's not a conflict of interest, you're doing a really good job where you are. That apprenticeship is preparing you. They're paying you essentially to eventually go out and do your own thing. And that's what's beautiful about the trade. So this is all about balance and then ethics is the short answer. Is that what you're asking?
Pretty much, because a lot of it is just, knowing what you're doing and how to do it and just having time, doing the job, because there's such a shortage of people doing any kind of labor of that kind. And, I know some people that have done that, and they're like, look, I worked for somebody. It was awesome. But whenever I worked for myself, it just opened a lot more doors.
Sure.
But obviously doing it in a smart way, not saying, oh, okay, I can get a loan for this. And
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Like COVID happens, and then all of a sudden you're like, uh-oh.
Right.
So I can't make the payment. So that's the way I want to go about it.
Well, that's the way you should go about it. So let me speak to the financial piece then. So you need to be patient financially and professionally here. You get in, you learn it, you get really good at it, you become very dependable, and now all of a sudden I've got everything I need, skill and experience to do this on my own, and I keep socking away money. I'm not going to go into debt. I'm going to work my way into the side hustle becoming a full-time gig. Now, the advice I give for people that are in trade specifically to move from full-time job, side hustle to working for themselves is, once you do the side hustle the right way, you're not poaching clients. You get out there, and I'd like to see you have 6 months minimum of your salary in the side hustle bank account. Minimum 6 months is what I would prefer. 6 to 12, more towards the 12 would make me a little bit more secure in stepping out on my own. So I've got a pipeline of clients that I believe I can build on, and I've got 6 to 12 months of salary in the bank.
Make sure if you're going to jump in the boat that you get the boat close enough to the dock before you jump.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying, okay? Because sometimes people go, I think this is going to work. Ah! Yeah. And all they get's wet, you know? So, no, you got to get the income up on the side to where when you make the move over, you don't even feel it. Make sure you're not doing anything unethical and stealing your boss's clients to build your new business. Mm-hmm. That would be wrong. And then the last piece is this that I'll throw on top of this, Nick. One piece of you going in business for yourself is learning the trade. But running your business is not doing electrical wiring. Mm-hmm. Running a business is a different skill set. And so you've got to learn some things about running a business in addition to learning the trade. So a lot of people, good heat and air technician goes and open a business but doesn't know beans about running a business. And fabulous heat and air technician. But then they go out of business because they don't know how to do the marketing. They don't take care of the accounting and the taxes. They don't know how to hire and fire. They sign up for stuff they shouldn't sign up for. They overbuy on their tools and all these kinds of things. So you've got to start looking at this also as you make this transition as a business person, not simply a tradesman. So the tradesman's awesome, but that's when you're working for somebody else. When you start working for yourself, now you own your gig, and you got to be able to run it. That's the deal. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, being free to make your own medical decisions is a big deal these days. Christian Healthcare Ministries gives members the freedom to choose the doctors and providers they want without the frustration of worrying about networks and with no waiting period to join. It's a membership-based nonprofit ministry where hundreds of thousands of Christians share funds to pay for and pray for each other's medical bills. For over 40 years, CHM has helped families living across all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Check out more today at chministries.org/budget.
Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Oramar is with us in Canada. Hey, Oramar, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Well, I'm actually ecstatic to be on this phone call. I can't believe I'm talking to you guys, but I'm calling from New Brunswick, Canada. I actually moved with my family and my 2 babies, 3 and 4, from Toronto, escaping pretty much what was happening over there. A normal run-down home was $2 million. We didn't want to get into a mortgage like that, and because we had the freedom of remote jobs, we decided, well, let's move. We wanted a more conservative place as well, so it's been amazing living here. But we purchased a house, $400,000 last year. It has been a year and a half, and I feel like I'm on baby step number 0. We are reading the book, and we're doing everything we can, but we had very bad advice with our mortgage. We went on a variable rate last year, and I feel hopeless. I don't know how to even get through this. So we've done what we can, and we got the book from the church, Total Money Makeover. We've been reading it, but with 2 little ones, it's been tough, and I don't know how to deal and cope with, I guess, paying the mortgage when we initially budgeted for $1,600, and we ended up at a fixed rate of, actually, we fixed the rate last week, and we ended up at $3,200.
So you have a $3,200 mortgage, and what is your income?
So my husband makes $85,000 a year, and I recently started I work with the same company, actually, and I'm making $33.90. I'm not on payroll, but I've been with them for 10 months, and they are willing to put me on payroll. It's just it hasn't come to that yet.
Is $33.90 an hour or $33,900 a year?
No, so $3,390 monthly, plus $85,000 a year that my husband earns, which is, I believe, it's $4,900 a month. Mm-hmm. So we're roughly around $8,000 to almost $9,000 a month.
Yeah, you're about $8,500 a month take-home pay, and you have a $3,200 mortgage, which leaves $5,000 to pay the rest of your bills. Why can you not do that?
I know, right? We feel the same, but unfortunately, since we got our home last year, we had, I don't know why we came up with the bright idea that we wanted to finish the basement that we had in this house because we wanted to rent it out. We said, well, maybe let's do like a side income and have someone be downstairs. And
so is it finished or not?
It is.
Okay, somebody living down there?
We didn't finish it. Yeah, finally.
Okay, and how much are they paying you?
Of being $1,200.
Okay, and so that's another $1,200 on the $8,500. Now, what other bills have you got other than the $3,200? What other debt payments have you got?
Insurance, I believe, is $240.
No, I'm talking about debt. Debt.
Oh, that it's $32,000 on a home credit line.
How much is the payment on that?
A lot. It's like $900.
$1,100
more, maybe, because we really got behind. Yeah. Okay,
$1,100. All right, so that's $4,300. Okay, and what else?
Yeah, $20,000 on a credit card, which I don't know how it even came to that.
Okay, Ormar, stop. Here's what's going on. Okay, your brain is scrambled eggs on this money stuff because you're all over the place just to talk to you, and that's where all your stress is coming from. Okay, so the numbers you've given me, because you haven't thrown me any numbers here that don't work. You've got $9,700 a month coming into this house, counting the $1,200 rent. Okay, the only numbers you've given me are $3,200 and $1,100 going out. So when you just start, my turn. Just at the top of the page, write $9,700 and then write minus $3,200, minus $1,100, minus a little for insurance, minus some electricity and food, and then you're going to go, hey, where's all my dadgum money going? Because that's where I'm going right now. I can't figure out why you're stressed out about this. You should have plenty of money. So what that tells me is you guys are very disorganized. You're very chaotic. It's chaotic talking to you. I'm not being mean to you, But that's what's happening. It's the stress is in the air. I can feel it. And honey, you got to get this. You guys got to get when you push this down onto paper and transfer this financial stress into actual arithmetic, the stress will start to dissipate. Because you are not out of control here. Unless you've left out entire segments in this conversation, which is possible. Mm-hmm. But there's something about writing it down that makes it come alive and makes it get under control. So, Ormar, it's kind of like, remember that time back in high school, Ken, when you have a problem, or you might do it as an adult, and you sit down and with your friend who's going to help you with the problem, and you tell them the whole problem. And by the time you actually put it into cogent words, you know the answer and it's not a problem anymore. Your friend doesn't have to say anything. They just got to look at you like you're an idiot, right? And so, or worse than that, you write it down. If you write yourself a report on what's going on, by the time your brain goes from jumble to verbal, and then one more step from verbal to written, you have processed this information very thoroughly, and the answer oftentimes will appear right in front of you. You're on the other end of that spectrum right now, Orimar, so you guys need a budget. That's what you need. And your time is not being managed well. Your kids are overrunning you. I bet your house is a mess. And so, the chaos is in the air. And when you get things orderly and straightened up, the calendar straight, the budget is straight, you're going to get on top of this and you're going to be able to run. It's so fast because you're really doing better than it feels like you're doing to you. Your numbers are not nearly as bad as your emotions are telling you they are.
Yeah, what I heard is someone who's being reactive instead of proactive.
Yeah.
And the power in writing it down and creating this budget, Omar, what Dave's telling you is right. When you look at just that exercise where he said, all right, let's start with what's coming in. You guys have got to write down what's going out. And when you begin to get intentional, proactive versus reactive, you guys are letting every day come at you, and I don't think you have a plan at all. And
your
it's
emotions
just
are managing this. Your emotions are managed, not your logic.
That's right.
So get your critical thinking skills up on top of it.
Yeah.
Open up an $EveryDollar app, get that thing going. You've got a Total Money Makeover book. You and your husband sit down, turn the TV off, put the kids to bed, tell them to stay in bed.
Yeah.
And we're going to sit here and we're going to read this book and we're going to freaking do these steps exactly. We're going to get these forms out of the back of the book even. I don't care if you do it longhand with a yellow pad. But when you get organized, you will feel more in control. And the reason you feel that way is because you are more in control.
Yeah.
And it changes everything. Folks, when you jump on your EveryDollar app and do your budget for the first time, and you say, this is how much is coming in, and here's where I know it's going, and then there's this big pile of money left over, you're going to go, what am I doing? I'm spending like I'm in Congress. Mm-hmm. What am I doing? You're going to have that moment where you feel like you got a raise.
It's true. EveryDollar allows you to see where you are, and then you can start making changes. But the problem is when you don't know where you are, and what we felt in her was this, I just don't know where any of it's going, and I don't know, and I don't know. And here's what we know about just human psychology. When the scariest thing is the unknown. And so the EveryDollar allows me to actually for the first time go, oh, that's where I'm spending money.
Bad news is not nearly as scary as unknown.
That is so true.
The human brain reacts more aggressively and positively towards bad news than it does the unknown. You might have cancer. It's going to be 3 weeks before you tell you. That's 3 weeks of hell.
Yeah.
And then they say, you got stage 3, bring on the chemo. You're like, at least I know what it is. The devil I know, let's fight it. Here we go. Game on. But the unknown will drive you bananas. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Go to Blinds.com now and save 45% off selected products. Visit Blinds.com today for more info. Thanks for joining us, America. We're glad you are with us. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. The question of the day is brought to you by Neighborly, your hub for home services. With 19 service brands nationwide, you can find reliable help from great locally owned businesses like AirServe, Mr. Appliance, Dryer Vent Wizard. Visit neighborly.com today for help with just about anything for your home.
Today's question comes from Brittany in New Jersey. I currently have 100% job satisfaction.
Brittany, I don't have that.
I know. And she puts love in all caps, by the way. I love my job. However, I'm consistently being pushed to take promotions that I do not want. While flattering, I'm running out of ways to say no politely. Is it wrong to stay at the same level in my career? How do I say no to a promotion? All right, I love this question, Dave, because I do think this is a leadership flaw. And it's pretty common in America that when someone does a great job, we certainly want to reward them. And beyond pay, we end up pushing them into positions many times that they're not well suited for. So, Brittany, my answer is it's not wrong to want to stay in the same seat on the bus that you really love. I think that's honorable. And so the second question is, how do I say no? I don't think you say no. I think you say thank you. I'm flattered. I'm honored. I like being here. I want to be on this bus, but I really love the seat that I'm on. Here's why I love that seat. And because of that, I don't want to step into this promotion. It's not because I'm not willing to try. It's not because of this and this. I just feel like this is my niche and I want to fill it. And I'm grateful for the opportunity, but this is what I want to do. And I think that that's shocking for a lot of leaders to hear, but I think you have to say it.
Yeah, leaders assume that everyone wants to move up and make more money. But I'll tell you where we mess this up in leadership a lot is in the technical field. Mm-hmm. Not everyone that likes designing and writing code wants to lead people.
That's right.
As a matter of fact, most of them don't want to lead people. Not everyone that, in our creatives, among our video team and our the producing the graphics and the other work in this place, a lot of those prefer doing the creative work. And if they take a promotion into leadership, they often miss doing the work that they love. And so creatives and tech are the ones I've seen it the most with. The first time I ever experienced this in leadership, and it's a little bit baffling for a young leader or an immature leader, was the very first guy I ever hired, Russ Carroll.
Oh, yeah.
Russ came to us. He was a former pastor, and he was doing counseling, financial counseling, one-on-one, and he loved sitting down and pastoring and counseling, loving people that were hurting, helping them, not lose their home, get their budget organized. He was a kind, compassionate guy, and our company's blowing and going and growing, and he was the very first guy I ever hired. And, all of a sudden there's 10, 15 of us, and we're like, okay, we've got this department, Russ, that is the counseling department and the live events department. And do you want to come and take a promotion and run that? And he said, wait a minute, let me get this straight. I would not be doing counseling anymore. I said, right. He said, and I would be doing budgets. Yeah. and I'd be hiring and firing people, and I'd have to deal with their problems, the employees' problems. I said, yeah. And he goes, that would be leukemia to my spirit.
Such a good line, too. There.
Wow. And but he was self-aware enough and mature enough to say, no, I get great joy from coaching and counseling. And he counseled he worked for us 20 years.
That's right.
And that's what he did the whole time. Yeah. He did some speaking outside of here. And in terms of, we would send him to a church to speak for us and something like that. And he did coaching and counseling. Never once ran a department. Yeah. And, many, many, many people came and went running departments for more money. Yeah. But he was very comfortable with what he's doing. And it's sometimes baffling for someone in leadership. Well, but Russ is one of my best friends to this day. I love the guy and still honor him as our first team member at Ramsey, and he taught me that lesson. Yeah.
It feels nonsensical, folks, because you're turning down an opportunity to grow, and we're people of progress. However, Dave mentioned the key word there. It's maturity. Maturity to go, you know what? I know who I am. I know what I want, and I know why. And you can say, hey, I'm honored. And I hope leaders would say, you know what? I appreciate that. We'll give you a bump in pay, because we want to reward you, but we're going to keep you there, and we're going to honor that. Yeah. And I think that is a healthy response to someone saying that. But you're right, Dave. Most leaders got to a leadership position much the same way. They were like, I got to say yes. I'm an idiot if I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. How do I turn this down? Well, just by saying no. Yeah. Langdon is in Paducah, Kentucky. Hey, Langdon, how are you?
I'm doing well. Dave and Ken, how are you all?
Better than we deserve, sir. What's up?
All right, so I'm just going to lay the foundation here before my question. My wife and I, we each invest in our employer's 401ks up to the match percentage, and what we put in goes into the Roth option.
Good.
Now, we also each have Roth IRAs on our own.
Good.
So this morning we're having our budgeting meeting, and we were discussing, okay, here's the percentage we're going to start putting into our Roth. My wife, being smarter than me, brings up the thought, hey, why don't we just load up our work retirement on account of it's already a Roth option instead of putting it into our separate Roth? What's the pros or cons or benefits of that? And I said, I'm going to get an answer for you today, and that's why I'm calling you guys.
Okay. There's no difference if the mutual funds are the same. If your work mutual funds perform as good as your personal Roth mutual funds, there's no difference. The only difference is you got a little bit more accessibility and control to personal accounts than you do to business accounts through your HR department or whatever, right? But it's these days with your web access and other things, with most 401ks, it's just fine. And as long as you're getting a good performing set of mutual funds at work, there's no difference at all. What we would tell you to do is, if you're out of debt, everything but the house, and you have your emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses, would be to take your total household income times 15%, 0.15.
Yes, sir.
And then I want that much money going in some kind of a Roth with a match first, and after that, either one of these accounts is just fine. I wouldn't put more than 15% in unless your home is paid off, which is baby step 6. Is your home paid off?
It is not paid off. We refinanced to a 15 a couple of years ago, and I think we're on track for about 6 to 7 years on that.
Good for you. And what's your household income?
Household income is right around $100,000, I believe.
Okay, so $15,000.
Yes, sir.
Total.
Yes, sir. And I guess it's in theory our work employer, we can load that thing up to, what is it, $19,000 to $20,000.
No, that's not, I'm telling you, don't do that. That's exactly the point. $15,000 total between these 4 accounts, and everything above that, though, at your house.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So first take the match, and then do either one of the other Roths. There's not a wrong answer, unless your work has only bad mutual fund options, and then you would move towards your individual Roth to avoid those bad options. Even if it's got bad options, up to the match. But if the options are weak, then you would go towards the personal otherwise. Those baby steps work every time.
Every time. A lot of proof, a lot of years.
Yeah, it's been happening a long time. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Now, let me tell you the story. I don't know how old he is, but if you put $15,000 away and 7 years later your home is paid off, in somewhere around the time that your home is paid off, you're probably a millionaire. That would be normal. That would be the normal set of mathematics. And so this tells you how, quote unquote, easy it is to become a millionaire in America. Very, very important to focus and be intentional, which is not easy in a world full of ADD. This is The Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. This is The Ramsey Show. Thank you for being with us. Valerie is with us in Boston. Hey, Valerie, how are you?
Good. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I became a widow last year in August. I have two children, ages 15 and 16. 2 days ago, I lost my job.
Oh, my.
And so I had been with the company for 21 years. I've been going to school full-time while trying to resolve my husband's estate and also newly becoming a single parent. So my question is, being that I just lost my job basically was the additional income that was allowing me to cash flow school. We do get my husband's Social Security, and so I'm kind of on the fence as to what to do now. I really wanted to finish pursuing school to open up my income potential, and I'm just concerned, do I go out and try and find another job right away to continue to cash flow school? Do I just put 100% effort into school, possibly take out a small student loan to get through? I'm just not sure where to go from here.
How much school do you have left, and what are you attempting to get? What degree, and where will that take you?
I'm going to school for pharmacy. I'm looking to get a PharmD because I've been in the industry for 21 years.
Okay.
And so it's going to allow me to go into biomedical engineering to work in the lab developing the medications.
Great.
I still have a good 4.5 years of school left. And I've been doing the cheaper route. I've been doing community college, online classes, so that I can try and manage, the household all by myself.
What were you doing that you got laid off from?
Pharmacy technician.
And what were you being paid?
Just over 27 an hour.
Okay. All right. And why were they laying people off?
They weren't laying people off. It's actually a payroll dispute, which I'm appealing my termination with the company. They're saying that I fraudulently got paid out vacation time. My supervisor paid vacation time that I did not request, and I have documentation of that. So I am appealing the termination. It's a hot mess. It's a very, very large company, but I am appealing the termination because after 21 years, I have an exemplary record. It's kind of ridiculous that with the first offense, they went right to termination.
Oh, and they didn't even investigate. Stupid corporate America. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
Wow. Okay.
What's the market like for farm techs right now? I'm taking a stab, but that's
it shouldn't be hard to get another one.
Shouldn't be hard for you to replace that income, correct?
Well, it wouldn't be hard for me to replace the income. The difficult part is scheduling because I am all by myself.
It was that way before, though.
Yeah.
True, but the position that I just had, my direct supervisor was extremely flexible. am very understanding with scheduling if I needed to fluctuate. For instance, now it's the summertime, scheduling is a little bit different versus during the school year. Once my son
but that's not to say you can't find that again.
More.
They may be motivated enough for a hire that they will work with you on flexibility. So I think you need the income. And I think you're scared to go look for another place because this, in the middle of all the pain and tragedy you've already been through, this is one more kick to the gut.
Yeah.
It definitely is one more kick to the gut for sure. Yeah.
And it just kind of takes some of your confidence away.
Yeah, for sure.
And you've been with them 21 years. I'm trying to make you feel good about this. There's nothing wrong with you. But you've been in one place 21 years. That's a massive change. And so your brain has got to get to a place where you go, wait a second, I can be just as valuable somewhere else. And so this represents change.
It might be really neat if you ended up making $37 an hour.
Yeah.
And this whole thing ends up being what's called a blessing.
Right. But, and here's my concern, too, is we get the Social Security from my husband, and, of course, you can't make more than $21,000 a year.
I want you to go make $210,000 a year and not care about that.
All right.
Okay.
Don't let the government dumb down your life.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can make enough more to offset anything they cut. And there was no other estate when he passed other than that? I have $374,000 in a traditional IRA that I got from the estate. There's no debt at all. We owe $116,000 on the house. I apologize. There's one debt for solar panels that he had put on the house that I only owe $29,000. I've been working on getting that paid off, but outside of that, there's zero debt anywhere else. Cars are paid off. Everything else is paid off. So I just have pretty much just those two payments and then normal living expenses. This is not a math problem, Valerie. This is you've had the roughest 2 years of your life, including an unreasonable, bad, poor, weak leadership at a company you worked for that fired you for no reason, and the loss of your husband. And these are things that just steal some of your confidence. But if you just if you pretend for a second that you're like 19 years old and the whole world's in front of you and everything, and the sun is shining, and you just run out there and grab you something with a big smile on your face, you're probably going to get a raise.
Okay.
And you're probably going to find something with more flexibility than those twerps you were working for.
Okay. So I shouldn't stress about losing the Social Security at all?
Not if you make more than the Social Security.
Okay.
And you will probably. Okay. I mean, let's go find out what's out there.
Yeah.
Instead of sitting in the corner. Okay. But it's a normal human reaction to not feel super confident in your situation.
That's right.
Right.
But we're talking to a lady who's super competent.
Yeah.
And so we see we're more confident for you than your last 2 years of your life have led you to feel.
Right, that's for sure.
Valerie, how much do you want to be in that lab 4 years from now? How much do you want to be in that lab doing that kind of work?
I would love to be there, especially after my husband passed away from a very rare cancer. And the limitation on treatment options was huge. So it just kind of motivated me even more to want to be there.
Valerie, now listen, that's what you got to hold on to.
Yeah.
When your future, when the excitement for your future is greater than the fear of the unknown and greater than the hurt of the past, that's when you are unstoppable. And you have to keep that future in mind. 4 years goes by quick. You know that. You're a mama bear. Those kids were 10 and 12 and 11, and so 4 years, no debt. Do not opt for the student loan. You don't need it. You got this far. Please don't take the student loan.
Bet
Get
on
back
Valerie.
out there. That's right.
Yeah, bet on Valerie. She's a good bet.
Yeah.
That's where I'm placing my bet.
Yeah.
And it's not on corporate America.
This is the kind of stuff that makes me want to spit nails, where you've got her boss who gave her flexibility, gives her vacation time, whether fraudulently or accidentally, and they take it out on her. She has an exemplary record. It's not like there's a pattern of her doing this, and she can't give herself vacation time. Can't happen that way.
Now, this is where HR gets a bad name because there's idiots in there.
Right. Bunch of paper pushers instead of, wait a second, let's look at who this person is.
Yeah.
21 years.
And by the way, here, this will get you in. God will love you if you mess with widows.
There's that too.
Let's just go ahead and do that. Let's just mess with widows and orphans and see how this turns out for you. Yeah. Good Lord.
21 years
People
she's been with him.
So stupid. They're just stupid. And then they want, I don't know, how do you build employee loyalty? You don't pee on the ones that you have. Hello, try that. There's a good starting spot. Why is this hard?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. We can't attract good talents because you piss on the ones you have. Yeah. It's just, golly, just dumber than a rock, man.
And here's the deal. If she wins the appeal, she's not going to want to go back there because of how they treated her on the front end.
The only reason I want to appeal is get a dadgum check out of them.
That's what I want. A nice fat check.
Yeah, for yeah. Wow. Hey, good riddance. Go make $37 an hour.
Yeah.
I'm betting on Valerie. She's the horse going to win. This is the Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book Paycheck to Purpose. Our Ramsey career expert, host of the Ken Coleman Show, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Julie is in San Francisco. Hi, Julie. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Okay. So I bought a home in February of 2022 in Nevada, and I'm actually renting it right now, and it's making double my mortgage payment, which is great. But I also have Parent Plus loans that total $178,000. My daughter graduated in 2021. She's doing well, but she's getting her master's now, which is totally under her name. But I've got these Parent Plus loans in my name.
How's she paying for her master's?
Yeah, she is.
Oh, she's paying for it.
Doing that.
Okay.
She's paying for the master's, but I've got the undergrad loans. And then, of course, she's got her own student loans within the undergrad program. Yeah.
So your question is, do you sell your rental property to clear a $178,000 debt?
Yes. Yeah.
What's your household income?
So mine alone, so I live with my fiance, mine alone is $100,000.
Mm-hmm. When are you getting married?
I actually took a pay cut. We don't know yet. We're trying to clear all this stuff up.
Okay. What does he make?
He makes about 120 plus with the bonuses and stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, can I tell you what I used to make? And this is part of another part 2 question. I used to make 145. So when I moved in with him, I took that pay cut. So we both want to move closer to the city, to the Bay, and that will allow me to get a better paying job and get back to where I was before.
So you took a pay cut because you changed locations.
Say that again?
You took a pay cut because you changed locations.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. I'm like 2 hours away from the Bay, so pay is.
So let's pretend for a second. You do not own a house in our pretend world for a second in Nevada. Okay. You have $178,000 in Parent Plus loans, and I put $200,000 in cash in the middle of your kitchen table. You have 2 choices. You can buy a rental property in Nevada, or you can pay off the Parent Plus loan.
I know what you're going to say.
I didn't say anything. I asked you a question.
What would I do?
It's a leading question, but I asked you a question.
Well,
it's kind of obvious, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
sell the house. Yeah. When you decided to pay for your daughter's education with borrowed money, you decided to get rid of this house. Now you're actually having to admit it.
That's what we tossed and turned about last night.
Yeah. It's gone. And you got your life back.
For real?
And you got your life back. For real.
Really?
Yeah, you're focusing on the house being gone and that it seems like such a great investment because it's paying you double. You're not focusing on the fact that those loans are gone. That's what you should be celebrating. You're feeling sad about losing the house when you should be happy that you can get out of the debt. Does that make sense?
And the next time someone presents an idea to you to go $178,000 in debt, just smile and say no. Even if it's one of your kids. Especially if it's one of your kids.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so, even more so.
There we go. Eric is with us in Frankfurt, Germany. Hi, Eric. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and Ken. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
How are y'all today?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Love to hear it. So me and my wife is active duty military, and we have been living in Germany for the past 2 years, and we will be here for another 3 years until she retires. We just had our first child in May after a long journey with IVF and are currently 100% debt-free.
Wonderful.
Yes, thank you. So our plan when she retires is to move to Dallas, and we are trying to figure out how much money we should be looking to spend on a house when she does retire.
Well, jump on Google and figure out what the median house price in Dallas is. But the median house price nationally right now is touch under $400K.
Okay.
And that's median, not average. Average will be slightly lower than that. But in other words, half the houses sell for more than that, half the houses sell for less. That's median. Average will be less. But, $300 to $400K is an average home in a typical city in America. But certainly there's neighborhoods in Dallas you can't touch for that. And there's plenty of neighborhoods that are less than that. So,
Absolutely.
It depends on the neighborhood. There's three things determine price of real estate: location, location, and location. But, yeah, so I think you start doing some research on the area you're going to be moving to, and that helps you set some goals. And,
Absolutely. Maybe I should rephrase my question a little bit. So we currently have $200,000 saved.
Good.
By the time she retires, I'm kind of projecting us to have about $500,000 to about $550,000 saved.
Good.
Would you see anything wrong with us if we were to pay cash for a house, if we were to spend that full amount?
You called Dave Ramsey and asked him if it was okay to pay cash?
I know.
From Germany?
I did.
I'm on the edge of my seat, Dave. What's the answer?
What's the answer? I can't wait. Of course you pay cash. Yeah, that's exactly what I would do.
Okay.
And the reason I would is because now with no house payment and this fabulous ability to manage money and save money, you guys are going to be able to pile up an incredible nest egg, incredible wealth, and be a blessing to your kids, your family, your future family, change your family tree, and many families around you, because you're going to be very wealthy. You guys are incredible. Thank you for serving your country. Congratulations on the new baby. Stack cash. Come back to U.S. after retirement and in a couple of years and pay cash for a nice house, and then become very outrageously wealthy and outrageously generous. You guys are amazing. Way to go.
Yeah, incredible stuff. Now, here's what I want to ask you. What is it that's behind that question? He knows fundamentally what you're going to say, but what's the
Not
fear?
fundamentally. It's everybody knows what I'm going to say.
Right.
I'm really not known for anything else.
Right. But there's a fear. Like, is he saying?
No, he's just wanting to be able to tell his buddies. Buddies are saying I'm an idiot.
Okay. I was wondering.
Dave Ramsey said pay cash.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. Still, after 30 years of saying it over and over and over again, he still says pay cash. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. That's the thing. This is the Ramsey Show. It's a competitive home buying market, but there's a way you can get an edge. Churchill Mortgage works with you to understand your budget and your goals. And the Churchill Mortgage Home Buyer Edge offers you fast pre-approval and a secured interest rate. Plus, Churchill has bumped up their seller guarantee to $10,000, giving your offer the best chance of being accepted and helping you win in today's market. Go to churchillmortgage.com today to learn more. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. We could use your help. You want to help us? We would appreciate it, since you pay so much to listen to this show. And here's what it's going to cost you. You need to jump on and, however you are viewing the show, subscribe or follow or whatever it means, wherever you're watching us or listening to us. Also, share the show. Click the share button. Let some friends know about the show, or tell people about us. However it is you want to go about sharing it, that's fine. We'd love to have you do that. And, of course, where you can, leave a 5-star review. All of that is very helpful. Thank you. Kathy is in North Carolina. Hi, Kathy. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello. Thank you, Dave, for taking my call.
My
really
pleasure.
Great to get to talk to you.
Yes,
too. And Ken. I think that's who you said, Ken.
Yes, it's me. I'm here, Kathy, today for you. What's going on?
Okay, so my husband and I are retired. We're age 65 and 68. We live in a mortgage-free home that's valued at just under $500,000, and we're debt-free. Our yearly income is about $100,000 with retirement, Social Security, pension, and we have a $1,700 a month rental property that's all that is included in the $100,000.
Your phone broke up. Wait a minute. Stop. Your phone broke up. You have a $1,700 a month rental property. It's paid for too?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now I can hear you again.
And he has good. He has about $500,000 in thrift savings that's invested conservatively, and his pension and our Social Security. That's what makes up the $100,000.
Okay, great.
So we live in North Carolina, just off a very popular place called Topsail Island, and people flock here throughout most of the year. And I've been wondering if it would be smart to invest in an Airbnb rental, and the one I'm looking at is about $280.
Mm-hmm. And you're going to take out enough of his thrift savings to buy it?
No, we'll borrow against our house.
Mm-hmm. No, you won't.
No. An equity line or anything like that wouldn't be smart.
You have a very good life. Don't go screw that up with an Airbnb. No.
I knew you were going to say that.
There it is.
If you want to buy an Airbnb, if you want to buy a rental for an Airbnb, take enough out of his thrift to do it. Pay cash for it.
Okay.
How long have you had this other rental?
Oh, goodness gracious. We've had it about 20 years.
Okay. Hey, can you tell me some tenant horror stories?
You know what? We have been so blessed. I've only had one of those.
Okay, good.
Out of all these years,
Keep in mind, when you have an Airbnb, you have a new tenant every 4 days.
Yes.
We're talking hassle factor.
You're right.
We're talking hassle factor. We're talking risk factor, damage, police being called, neighbors griping at you, all kinds of stuff that you hadn't even thought about. And we're talking about you're going to make a whole lot more money than you would have just rented that house. But you are getting ready to start a new small business. That's what renting an Airbnb is.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah,
But
and so
like
this
you
is
said,
not
I
like,
haven't thought of
I'm going to
everything.
just go to the mailbox and collect a bunch of checks because Airbnb is a big deal. No, it's not. It's a lot of work. And they're going to tear up your property, and you're going to put it back, and then they're going to pay for it, and then you're going to be. It's a lot of work. It's very similar to running a hotel. I mean, you don't buy
My
you.
husband is going to be so glad for when I tell him this.
Well, I wouldn't do
it's
it.
a good idea.
Yeah, if I were in your shoes, you sound like you have a very simple, fun, clean life that's very secure. I wouldn't put this beehive in the middle of it if it was me. But if you want to go make some money, you can make some money with this. But you know that you're dealing with hassle, and the only way you want to do it is to pay cash.
Just something to share with Kathy and other people that may be getting bit by the Airbnb bug, and you think it's a sure thing.
You may be late to the party.
Yeah, you are, because we're seeing some new revenue data here. All the rooms, which kind of checks listings and revenue, we've seen significant drops this year compared to 2022. Places like Austin, Sevierville, Tennessee, which is 2 hours east, you're seeing 47% drop. San Antonio, Texas, 43% drop. Nashville, 39% drop. Denver, 38%. New Orleans, Seattle, Washington. There's more and more cities here. And so the point is there's a glut right now of people who got into these as investments, much like you're thinking about, Kathy.
Nashville's down?
Nashville's down 39%.
The bachelorette party didn't keep it going?
Phoenix, Arizona's down because people don't want to burst into flames, apparently. Austin, Texas, one of the hottest cities.
In the flames.
Have you heard about
the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, I mean, I'm telling you, it's so hot out there right now. People are reading about this. But anyway, here's the point. You're talking about major markets throughout the country where there is more supply than there's demand, and you can get caught really quickly.
And there's starting to be a backlash, both politically, like people are calling zoning on it, and they're saying some cities have passed it's just illegal, period. And so I'm not sure that's constitutional, but a lot of zoning stuff's questionable, so they pull off all kinds of crap in the name of protecting other people. But it's called civilization, I think. But but they regulate our butts off. But so it's, the bottom line is the Airbnb market is soft, and there's a lot more work involved and a lot more risk involved than people ascribe to it. If you properly address the market and say, given that it's soft, the article Ken's reading, given the high level of work and hassle and the risk of damage and the risk of the whole thing, and pay cash for it, if you embrace every bit of that and still want to do it, I'm on your team. Go do it, because you'll make a lot more money. I'll give you another one, okay? If you want to make more money on residential real estate, buy cheap houses in bad ends of town. Low-income rentals give a much higher ROI, rate of return, rent to value, than high-income rentals do in the rich end of town. Rich end of town, you don't really make that much money on a rental. Doesn't do as good. But guess what? You've got a higher hassle factor.
Right.
You're dealing with people tearing up stuff. You're dealing with them running drugs or prostitution out of your house. You're dealing with all this other crap. Potentially. I used to have a whole bunch of those properties. That's how I know. But I mean, I had one house that I paid $11,000 for. Now, this was a long time ago.
Right.
But I paid $11,000 for it, and the rent I got on it per month was $1,500.
Wow.
Now, you can't touch that, right?
Yeah, that's tough.
But I'm telling you, man, I had to collect my rent on the doorstep every Friday afternoon. Or they would snort it or drink it over the weekend. I mean, it was like, so you're just dealing with a different thing. So if you want to engage in hassle to make more money, you can engage in hassle to make more money, and that's Airbnb, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't, if you want something that her life is so dialed in. It's so sweet.
Yeah.
Everything's sitting there paid for, and she's collecting this rent and had very little hassle for 20 years. Yeah. Only one bad story. Yeah.
Don't screw that up.
This is a Sesame Street moment. One of these things is not like the other. It doesn't fit in this equation.
She's fun, though. Apparently her husband is going to be very happy with that advice. So that's...
Well, maybe. I don't know.
Kathy was like, I don't know. I'm going to call Dave and see what he thinks.
Yeah, let's see how this works out. But there we go. Fun. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, guys, the real estate market is shifting, and so is the stock market. if you haven't noticed, and most of you haven't, because 100% of the time the stock market's down, they do a lot of news reports on it. 100% of the time it's up, they almost never mention it. In the last 12 months, the S&P 500, 12 months from today, 12 months ago, is up 16.4%. If you were invested in a very basic mutual fund for the last 12 months, you would have made 16% on your money. Anybody else tell you that? Nope! They don't report this. This is The Ramsey Show. Well, you've all played the telephone game. The first person whispers a message to the second person, who whispers it to the third, and so on around the table until the original message has completely changed. Multiply that confusion by 100 if you run a business with different software systems that don't talk to each other. That's why there's NetSuite by Oracle. In the early days of Ramsey, we were using different systems for all of our business units. We needed one single source for accurate data. NetSuite was the software we used to optimize and take us to the next level. NetSuite gave us the visibility into all of our numbers so that we could communicate across departments and plan ahead better. And as we grew, it scaled with us. NetSuite worked for Ramsey, and it will make a difference for your business too. Join the more than 34,000 customers who trust NetSuite to help make them smarter and make better decisions and level up their operations. To learn more, get a free product tour at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. Well, about 8 years ago, I looked up on Twitter, back when I looked at Twitter, and there were some guys on there poking fun at all kinds of people, and then the next thing I knew, they were making fun of me, and they're funny as crud. And some of my favorite follows on social media, The Bee, the Babylon Bee. Kyle Mann, one of the founders of the Babylon Bee, along with his friend Adam, who's gone on to do other things now, but they started this thing over in California, and a satirical look at church, for one thing, and church, making fun of us church people, by church people, because you're a pastor's kid. Yeah. Or no, you were a pastor,
I were a
actually.
pastor, yeah.
Yeah, you were a pastor at one point.
My dad's a rocket scientist. So.
Oh, well, there's that. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah. No, it's not a joke, Not everything I say is a joke.
Right.
Well, I'm just checking. I didn't know if you were pulling. All right, so all right. Kyle Mann is the editor-in-chief of The Bee, the Babylon Bee. Around here, all the Ramsey folk are big fans of The Bee, and we recommend you guys check it out if you want to have a good snicker, a good laugh a couple times a day. And you ought to get something positive out of social media, so there's a way you can do it. So welcome, Kyle. Good to have you. We're big fans, man.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
So fake news you can trust. All right, did Trump steal that from you, or did you steal it from Trump?
It's ours, man. It's copyrighted. Look at that. Yeah. We made the T-shirt, so we own the phrase.
But fake news he stole from you?
Well, no, we stole fake news from him.
Okay, that's what I thought, yeah. But
we owe him no royalties on it.
But fake news you can trust is yours.
That's us. Yeah, that's all us.
Because you can't trust all the fake news, but you can trust this one.
Trust the Babylon Bee.
Great play. Great satire. I mean, you got a sense of humor. Sarcasm is my my love language, so I love the whole thing. And you guys have come at me a bunch of times, and I've loved every bit of it. We always get good response because you're not too hard on me. But you get a good use out of it.
Do you want us to be? I mean,
no, I appreciate it. I'm trying not to make you mad. Yeah, I don't need anybody else picking on me out there. So, but satire is tough. I mean, it's hard. Is it harder to create satire when real life things are so over the top? I mean, it's so weird out there that it's like reality is satire.
Yeah, G.K. Chesterton wrote 100 years ago that he thought satire would be impossible because the real news was so absurd. He wrote that in like 1911. And you picture how crazy the news has gotten from 1911 until 2023. You open up the news and you can't tell if it's a real news headline or the Babylon Bee headlines. Sometimes I can't tell, and I'm writing the headlines.
Yeah.
That's how difficult it is.
Yeah. When I was a kid, the local newspaper, you might not agree with their politics, but it was at least objective. The CBS Nightly News with Walter Cronkite was at least objective. But if I look at CNN's website, Fox's website, look at the local newspaper here in Nashville, it more resembles the National Enquirer when I was a kid than it does. I mean, their look, tone, feel, their fonts and everything. It's just so salacious, so bizarre. It's the aliens, that was reserved for the National Enquirer in the line when you're buying groceries, Yeah. But it has all shifted that way to where you guys probably get confused for real stuff sometimes, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we've been fact-checked dozens of times. Our jokes get fact-checked by Snopes, USA Today.
Of course.
All different kinds of outlets fact-check our jokes because people think they're real.
What's the most famous case of a story being taken very seriously?
Well, Snopes fact-checked one of our articles that was CNN purchases industrial washing machine to spin the news.
Somebody actually checked on that.
And that got fact-checked, and our Facebook page got demonetized, deplatformed, all of that stuff because of that article, because it was fact-checked. And they said, no, you guys are sharing fake news.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Because CNN, the giant washing machine.
CNN really didn't do that. Huh? Who knew?
Well, as far as we know, yeah.
Yeah, as far as we know.
Is there anything off limits for you guys, or what's that editorial process like? When I even hate to say editorial, but there is a version of that.
Yeah, well, we won't be too mean to Dave Ramsey. That's our number one.
We like that.
We like that.
That's our number one rule.
Use him for clicks and laughs, but that's enough.
Just clicks and laughs, all friendly stuff. But no, I mean, I don't think there's any topic that's off limits for the satirist. And honestly, that's why, a lot of left-leaning comedy these days isn't funny anymore. Because they have so many no-fly zones, things that they won't make fun of, that it doesn't surprise you anymore.
Yeah.
Imagine if they were to make fun of their own worldview, things in their own worldview. It would be shocking because they don't do that.
Yeah.
So I think you do need to be able to make fun of yourself. You do need to be able to make fun of things in the culture. I just think the main guideline that we use is that if we're making fun of a serious topic, like we're trying to call attention to a really, heavy topic like abortion or something along those lines, then our jokes are going to be that much more serious. We don't want to make people think that we're making light of those things.
Sure, right.
So that's kind of one of the guidelines that we use.
Yeah. Wow. So, but you are an equal opportunity offender. I mean, you go after just about everybody in one way or another. I mean, you make fun of Fox or CNN, right or left issues, or conservatives do this, or lefties do this, or whatever. I mean, you get on there. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, and you have to, I think to be a good satirist, you have to first be able to laugh at yourself. You have to be able to make fun of your own. And that's what made the Babylon Bee get so popular so fast. Because we were writing the jokes about the worship leaders who wear the V-necks and all that.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And our friend Dave Ramsey here.
Yeah.
Those kind of jokes showed people hey, they're not afraid to make fun of themselves. And that kind of gives you the right to then go after the other side a little bit too.
All right, so I got to know this. If you look to the recent past or maybe 100 years ago, as a satirist, who would you have loved to have been in the public scene now where you could have taken a crack at them? Whether that be in the faith-based world, politics, sports, what comes to mind when I ask you that?
Yeah, so we launched right at the end of the Obama administration, and so we were kind of during the Trump-Clinton years. So we did kind of launch it in the perfect time when it was you could make a lot of good fun of Trump if you had a good sense of humor about him, and you can make a lot of fun of Hillary, obviously, too.
Right.
So we launched it kind of that perfect time. But yeah, the last 100 years, I mean, it would have been great to be around in the 80s with Reagan.
Yeah.
And, the Clinton years, people had so much fun with on SNL. But that's back when SNL used to make fun of both sides, and they would.
Back when SNL was funny.
Right.
Back when the late night people would make fun of both sides. George W. Bush obviously was great for humor, just with his mannerisms. And
oh yeah.
So we kind of missed out on a lot of that. But at the time, there were comedians covering it. There was the SNL and the late nights that were actually doing that stuff.
I remember him telling a story when I was interviewing him about strategery.
Yeah.
He actually thought, he said, I thought I did say that. And he was talking to the writer at Saturday Night Live, Lauren, whatever, or the producer.
Yeah.
And Lauren said, no, George, I said that. I said you said that, but you never really said that. And he owned it. He said, I thought I said it. It was the funniest thing ever. And so, but you got to be able to laugh at yourself in the process. And you got to be able to enjoy that ride. No question about it. So, How do you determine? You guys put content on almost all the major platforms, from podcasts to posts on Facebook. Posts. I guess you're banned from Facebook? No. Okay.
Not banned from Facebook.
Okay. All right. But are you banned from anything right now?
We got banned from TikTok, which is, a good thing in some ways.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have to be on TikTok.
Yeah.
But I think we got let back on, so I don't know if we're actually banned from anything right now.
What got you banned from TikTok?
You can't joke about anything on TikTok. We'll do jokes about the tamest joke you can imagine, and they'll say, community standards.
Politically sensitive.
Politically sensitive.
You know what's crazy about that is they won't let you make fun of anything, but they'll let kids go on and say stupid crap about time blindness and how she's mad at her boss. This is the latest rage.
Blindness?
This will make Dave's head explode. I'll have to tell him during the commercial break.
I'll have to go deflate him after.
He can't handle it on the air. It's too much.
Okay.
But they'll let kids rage.
Yeah.
But you can't make a joke.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the danger of social media and algorithms. Who's controlling the algorithm and controlling what we see? We already know that with TikTok, they change the algorithm based on who you are. If you're in America, if you're in China, the algorithm's different based on what they want to produce in the culture.
So how do you guys, with all those different platforms, determine which piece of content worked?
There are some social media platforms where a certain joke will hit a little bit better. Like for a long time, Twitter was kind of the political space where politics jokes did well.
Yeah,
you're a big hit on Facebook and Instagram for us.
Yep.
I love it.
That's good. Okay, good.
So yeah, it just depends on the audience and where they are.
Well, we're just here to serve. I'm saying.
Yeah.
Dave, you're huge on the gram.
You're huge on the gram, as the kids say.
That's it, and huge on the B, baby. That's it. That's what I'm saying. Babylon B, Kyle Mann, thanks for stopping by, brother. We love your work. It's a lot of fun. You guys, if you haven't followed it, jump in and follow. You'll get a laugh, and you might get offended, and that'll be good for you too. Just laugh your way through it. You gotta love it. The Babylon Bee, check it out. This is the Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. We're so glad you're here. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Janet is in Boise, Idaho. Hi, Janet. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Ken and Dave. It's a pleasure.
Ours, too. How can we help?
Yeah, so I'm calling today just to see how me and my husband, can get ahead of our bills. It seems like every single month we pay our bills 3 weeks after the due date, and then a week later they're due again. So we've tried, budgeting and just trying to get ahead, and we just can't seem to get that curve. So we're just calling to see what tips and tricks you could provide for us.
Okay. What's your household income?
It's about $75,000 gross.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how much debt do you have, not counting your house?
$39,000.
On what?
On student loans is $24,000, $5,000 in credit cards, and $9,000 or $10,000 on the RV, a travel trailer.
On a trailer. Okay. And you make $75K a year.
That's right, between the both of us.
Okay. All right. All right. So where do you think your money's going?
Well, I know that it was going to a lot of eating out. I actually just got my husband on board about 2 months ago to do the baby steps. Mm-hmm. I've been doing it probably by myself for a whole year ever since. And it seems like actually we've been on this momentum of just being behind for the last year. Mm-hmm. And we're just sick of it. I'm tired of handling it. So I have him stepping in on the finances, as well as just really, being careful where our money is going. And so, you know, I've tried for the last 2 months. We've just been, you know, paying every single week because we get paid every week. So that's kind of helpful.
So if I sat down with you and your husband with a yellow pad at the kitchen table and I said, okay, this is what you have coming in this week. Let's map out where every one of those dollars is going. This is what you have coming in the next week. Let's map out where every one of those dollars is going. Let's map out. You should have enough with the numbers you gave me.
We should. Yeah, we should. And that's
but you're not doing that.
Right.
There it is. Okay. So you need to sit down and you can jump on every dollar, but the first thing is the two of you have to do this together, not turn it over to him because he can do it and you can't do it. That's not true. Okay, both of you together need to do this because what's going to have to happen is you're going to have to decide not to do a bunch of stuff you're doing now that doesn't matter as much as getting in control matters.
Right.
I want to get in control more than I want to go out to eat. I want to get out of debt and have a life more than I want to go on vacation. I want to get in control more than I like this travel trailer. I want to get in control more than, and I'm sick and tired of living stress to stress to stress to stress to stress with no hope, feeling like a rat in a freaking wheel. And when when both of you are saying that, and then you put numbers to that, and you say, okay, this week, on Friday, we get a check for X. The following Thursday, we get a check for Y. The following Saturday, we get a check for Z. And you write that down and you plan out every one of those dollars and where every one of them are going because the water bill is due on the second week, the house payment's due on the first week, the student loan payment's due in the third week. And we're going to figure out what's coming out. We're going to take this much for food, this much for food, this much for food in the 4 different weeks. And we're going to allocate every one of those bills to a certain week, and some of them across weeks so that we have enough money to take care of them. And every dollar has an assignment on paper, on purpose. Before the month begins, we agree on it and spit, shake, and pinky swear, and then we don't do anything else with money except what we freaking wrote down.
Right. And it seems like we've been doing that for the last 2 months, but we can't catch that curve. We can't get out of the momentum.
So you write it all down and you don't have enough.
No, we do have enough, but it seems like it's gone every single week.
Now, if you wrote it down to have enough, and then you did something else other than what you wrote down.
Well, I guess where we're struggling is just like every time we get our bill every single, whatever a month, we pay it once a week, but we have so many little ones, it seems like we just don't know where.
They're not all written down.
Prioritize them. Yeah, we need to prioritize them better.
Every one of them on paper, on purpose, in a certain week. This is a week 1 bill. This is a week 4 bill. This is a week 2 bill. Different bills have different weeks, and they all go within the income of that week. And then when the check comes in, the check is already spent, so you can't do anything except what you wrote down. Yep. You are not managing to the budget. You're writing it out as a hypothetical and then going and doing what you used to do.
Right.
And you're not focusing on it.
Get ahead.
But listen, Janet, I'll tell you how. You've got it.
That'll get you ahead. Just what I told you.
Yeah.
If you won't write down not getting ahead. You'll get ahead as soon as you do that. You've got room in this budget.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
You're disorganized and chaotic.
Yeah.
And when you give if I paid you $100,000 a year to pay these bills exactly on time, and you had no emotional tie to them whatsoever, and you would look at this family, this distant family over in Boise, Idaho, and tell them to quit going to freaking restaurants. I don't care how tired you are. No whining allowed. You're going to pay the freaking bill on time. If I told you to do that, you could do it for someone else.
Right.
It's because it's not right. It's 6th grade math. You can do this. So you have got to get very detailed, very intentional, and then live the detail. Don't write it all down and then go do what you used to do. And so, I didn't feel like cooking tonight. I don't give a crap. Go home and get some leftovers out of the dadgum refrigerator. That's how you do it. You can't, We all have that. You just got to talk to your whiny self and say, no, whiny self. I've done that myself. I mean, Sharon and I have done it to each other. We know what it feels like. But you have to go, I want control more than I feel tired tonight. You know? And that's the biggest thing. That's the phrase that comes out of everybody's mouth, by the way, before they go out to eat or before they hit the fast food and get dog food at Taco Bell, you know, or whatever. And so it's horrible. It's horrible value, it's horrible nutrition, and it's out of control spending. And so it's just, so you got to write it down and get on Every Dollar, download the app. And I'll tell you what, I'll give you the upgrade. I'll give you the premium Every Dollar where it ties to your bank. And we'll get you started on that, Janet, because what y'all desperately need is a detailed budget. And here's how you do a budget, folks. You give every single penny a name. Every bill has a week allocated. In Every Dollar, it's called paycheck planning. And you plan out each paycheck for the month. And you and your spouse both look at it. Every dollar is assigned to saving, to giving, or to a bill. Period. Every single dollar. There is no 50% of my budget is non-allocated. Bull crap. Allocate every dime in Every Dollar. On the paycheck planning, every dollar has a name before the month begins. August is coming. Where's your August money going to be? It's going to freaking disappear if you don't tell it what to do. It will leave and go to people's houses who tell it what to do. And then you'll say stuff like the poor get poorer and the rich get richer. Yes, they do, because the rich tell their money what to do. Yeah, that's how this works. And so you got to get on top of this stuff and lean into it. Every dollar has an assignment. You stick to it. You agree on it with your spouse. And you do not spend a dime unless it's on that page, on that Every Dollar app. If it's not on there and it comes up and it's a surprise and you forgot it, you got to take something else off, because if you put something on there and you're already spent it all, now you're in overdraft. And now it doesn't work and I can't seem to get caught up. Well, you're not getting caught up because you're not living your plan. Do the plan, live the plan. Write the plan, live the plan. Do the plan, live the plan. Live the plan. And it's your plan, by the way. You decide where it's going to go. But I'm telling you what I'm doing. I'm not going out to eat. I'm not going on vacation. I'm selling a stupid travel trailer. Everything else is for sale, so much the kids think they're next. We're going to take extra jobs, and we're getting control because I'm tired of being stressed out. That's what I'm doing if I'm in your shoes, and I did it, by the way. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Ken. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, host of The Ken Coleman Show, and author of the #1 best-selling book, From Paycheck to Purpose, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. Thanks for hanging out with us. 888-825-5225 is the number. That's 888-825-5225. North Dakota starts off this hour. Samuel is with us. Hey, Samuel, how are you?
Hey, pretty good.
Good. How can we help?
Hey, real quick, I've been married 3 years, and we had just bought in a modular home in our, I guess it'd be second year of marriage. And modular home, mobile home, however people call it. Anyways, the lot rent keeps raising up, and we're wondering if we should just sell it or what we should do with it. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is that we're expecting our second child. And so that kind of throws it into the mess of the stuff as well. So just getting some insight as far as what I should do next.
Good for you. Cool. How old are you?
24.
What's your household income, sir?
52 for myself, and then me and my wife would be about 64.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. All right. Well, the premise is this. There's nothing on fire. There's no emergency here. But 10 years from today, owning a mobile home that goes down in value is not a good plan. They go down in value. You know that.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, they do.
Okay. And so instead, I would rather be living in something that goes up in value. And so that's why mobile homes are not a good purchase. Simply, it's a car you sleep in. It goes down in value. So you got to decide then, since it's not a good long-term plan, when is the most opportune time to move out of that, and what are the steps? It might be that you sell it, and it may take you a little while to clean up. You may be upside down on it. You may owe more on it than it's worth, do you?
Sorry, what was the question?
Do you owe more on it than it's worth?
No, I do not.
Okay, what is it worth?
The next door house is about the same layout as our layout, and it sold for $50, and we owe about $40 on it right now.
Okay, so hopefully you could get $50 and walk away with $10. That would be amazing. And then what would we do? Are you out of debt except for that?
We just have one car loan.
Okay. I'd clean up the car loan, I'd build an emergency fund, and I'd rent for a year to 2 years while I saved up a down payment to buy my first home that is a stick-built wood or whatever home that's going up in value. And if it takes you from 24 to 26 to make that transition in one move, that's not a bad thing. Your other options, sit there and let this thing go down in value. And you're going to look up and it's going to be worth 30 and you owe 35. And then you're going to look up and it's going to be worth 10 and you owe 25. That's where it's headed long term. Agreed?
Agreed.
Yeah,
yes.
That's not a long-term plan. So, but again, this month, next month, I don't care. The next month, I don't care. Somewhere in there. When's the baby due?
In February.
Okay. So if you're going to do it, you should do it immediately or you should do it after the baby.
Okay.
If you could get a buyer now and move into a rental with $10,000 in your pocket, or how much you owe on the car?
$9,000.
You have any money in savings?
Yes, I do.
How much?
$7,000.
Perfect. Good. Okay, so if we sell this and we put 10 in our pocket, that's 17, pay off the car. Now we've got 8 in savings and no debt, and we're renting when the baby comes. That sounds a pretty good move. Now then we start saving like crazy above our emergency fund for a down payment on a home, and that might take you a year or 2 years. But that's what lots of couples do.
Yep.
Yeah, but what you're having to do is change direction because you got to get off at the next exit because you realize you're heading the wrong way on the interstate. And the first step is to get off the exit, go under, then get back on going the other way. And that that's what we're doing. We're stopping and heading back, and then we'll see how long it takes us to get back up to speed.
Yeah, Samuel, I don't know what's keeping you from doing this. You didn't say there was anything, but I'm telling you, I would do it now. With the baby on the way, I'd do it immediately, get the transition underway. One transaction takes care of all of your debt, and now you're changing your season. You're getting into a nice apartment. You're going to rent. I just love this move now. I wouldn't wait. I really wouldn't, especially since you've got a unit next to you that just sold for $50. I'd be moving on that.
Yeah. Put this one on the market for $52 tomorrow. And now, again, if it doesn't sell yet and it gets up to Christmas and it hadn't sold and she's got a baby coming in February, take it off the market.
Yeah.
Wait till after the baby comes. Do it this time next year. Do it next summer. That's fine. I'm good with that. There's no emergency here, but we need to be making steps, because what happens is people they kick the can on down the road and they put off taking the steps to move in the right direction, and that will get you absolutely burned. So I've got a friend that is a mobile home manufacturer, and he's like, "Would you quit being so hard on us?" And I'm like, "Well, because they really make some very nice mobile homes now. I mean, it's not like, but I don't care if you call it a modular home or you call it a mobile home or you call it a trailer. It goes down in value if you can walk up to it and perceive that it was built in a factory. So, if the home was brought in on a truck, baby, you're going to have trouble, okay, with the thing going up in value, because the marketplace does not treat that as a value increasing situation. Well, I know one that sold for, the reason it sold for that was the land under it went up. It was sitting on 5 acres, and the 5 acres went up faster than the mobile home went down. And that's why they got appreciation on it. So if it had a regular house sitting on it, they'd have made even more. So mobile homes go down in value. Not a good thing to do. Don't buy one. Don't buy one. And I'm not mad at you if you're in the mobile home industry, but you sell something that goes down in value. Don't buy one.
No.
Buy a house or rent until you can buy a house that goes up in value. It's the problem with the tiny house movement. We've yet to see that the things are going to appreciate.
Yeah.
It's a novelty, a gimmick. And until it's got a proven track record of appreciating, going up in value, appreciating, I'm not doing it. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dr. John Deloney here. I'm a huge fan of both meditation and prayer. And good mental health includes slowing down, gaining control of your thoughts, and plugging into something bigger than you. And Hallow makes it easy to start a daily practice of meditation, prayer, and finding peace. Hallow is the #1 Bible app in the world, and you can tailor content towards your faith tradition. From scripture readings and prayers to meditation and journaling, Hallow makes it easy to practice prayer, meditate, and build a deeper, more meaningful spiritual life and rediscover true peace. Go to hallow.com/Ramsey today to get 3 months of Hallow for free. That's hallow.com/Ramsey.
Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Andrew is in New Mexico. Hey, Andrew, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, how are you guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So my partner and I are looking to buy a home in the near future, and I was just wondering what the balance between, how much I should be investing, how much I should put towards my student loans, and then how much I should put towards increasing the down payment on the house.
Good question. Okay. Well, what we teach folks is the shortest distance between where you are and wealth and stability with your money without a bunch of risk is first to clear debt, because your most powerful wealth building tool is your income. Then have a good solid emergency fund, then save up a down payment for a home, and then you would start, or while you're saving up for the down payment for the home, or after, either one of those two, you would start saving for retirement. So that sounds like this: pay off the student loan first, build an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses second. That's baby step 3, we call it. Then you would go from there and either go to baby step 4, which is 15% of your income, or we call saving for a home because it's a temporary step, baby step 3B. So you could stop all retirement, not start retirement and save aggressively for a home, or you could put some in retirement and save some towards a home at that point. So that's how we teach to do it, and we've taught tens of millions of people to do that, and it works beautifully. It's not necessarily popular because everybody wants to go buy a house. But you need to get rid of these student loans because they're not going anywhere until you get rid of them. And so that's your first goal, is to get your life back from Sally Mae. Most people don't do that, but most people are broke. And most people make a lot of money and have nothing to show for it. Work their whole life and then hope the government, which is well known for its ability to handle money, will take care of them. So don't do that. Hang on, I'll send you a copy of the book, The Total Money Makeover, Andrew, to show you exactly how to do this process. Bridget is in Boston. Hi, Bridget. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I had a question about saving money versus putting more into my 403B plan through work. So I've always been big into saving money, so I've always had a big savings account. I only recently started listening to your show and learning more about investing for the future. So I'm just sort of wondering, I'm sort of behind for the year because I was only contributing 5%, and that was at my part-time job. So I only have $2,500 that I put into it this year, but I know now that the max is $22,500. So I'm sort of wondering if I should be aggressive for the rest of the year and every year moving forward to make sure I at least max that out before I'm piling up more savings, essentially.
Do you got any debt except your home?
No, just a mortgage.
Okay. All right. And what's your income? Household income?
My household income between my husband and me is roughly around $300,000.
Way to go. Very cool. Okay. So just like the last caller, we would tell you to have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. Do you have that?
Yes, we have well over that, actually.
How much do you have in that account?
We have right now $125,000, I think it's at.
Okay, that's where you said I like being a saver. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know that's more than we would ever need, but
it's way more than you would ever need. So
yeah.
What do you owe on your home?
$400,000.
Perfect. Man, wouldn't it be cool to get that house paid off, Bridget?
Yeah, so that was sort of my dilemma because we already actually made an additional payment towards our home earlier this year of $50,000, and I was ready to do that again towards the end of the year. We were going to try to just do $100 this year because we have the money to in the savings account. But I'm sort of wondering if first I should max out my retirement fund contributions and prioritize that, and then deal with the mortgage afterwards. And I don't know.
You can do both. You can do both.
Both.
You've got the money. Yeah. Let's sit down, you and your husband, and lay out a game plan with the income you have coming in and allocate it. I want you to put 15%. You said you're making $300K, right? Mm-hmm. That's $45,000 into some kind of retirement investments this year. 15% of your income into retirement. Okay. And then everything else goes at the house. And you only need 3 to 6 months of expenses set aside. It does not 3 to 6 months of expenses at your place is probably 40 or 50 grand.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, around 50.
All right, let's hold 50 and throw the rest of it at the house today. And I want you to cash flow $45,000 out of your income into retirement by the end of the year.
Okay. Yeah, my husband does get some through his work plan, so I'm only speaking for myself. And
I want you to work on the household. You have to work together.
Okay.
You're married.
Okay.
You're married, so we're going to work together. Okay, and you're not joint. It's not a joint venture. So, if he's putting in more, you're putting in less, or you're putting in more, he's putting in less. I don't care. But the whole thing totals up to $45K going into retirement for the two of you, and then everything else at the house. You're going to have this house paid off in about 3 more years. That's going to be wild.
So the only caveat to that is we've talked about having a baby at some point in the next year or two. So I don't know. I still plan to work at least part-time, and I should be able to maintain a good chunk of my income. Yeah. But assuming we end up around
let's worry about that when the stork shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For for now, let's just execute this plan. Stork shows up, you can adjust your plan.
Okay.
But for right now, I really think, I mean, we're getting ready to throw $100,000 at this house, and you only owe $400 and you make $300. So I'm telling you, you probably are out of debt in about 3 years, and you're not that old. How old are y'all?
I'm 26. He's 29.
Oh, man, you're doing so good.
I mean, Bridget, you're a rock star, and you're so on top of it. You just need to take a deep breath and realize there's no way you're going to screw this up. You're so responsible, and you guys, your earning potential is going to increase.
Yeah, you're making so much money, and you're going to make more.
So you're doing great.
This is good. Everything is good. But I'll tell you what, you're not getting good use of that money that's sitting over there doing nothing in savings. That's why I'm going to throw it at this house. Because if you get this house paid off, it's going to unleash arithmetic into your wealth building like you won't believe.
What's your house worth?
So we bought it for like around, it was like $605 what we paid for it, but it's worth a lot more now. Like that was 3 years ago. We bought it during 2020.
Right.
So it says it's worth more, and we've actually put money into it. Like we've renovated and like added square footage.
So is it $1 million or more?
I would guess around 900 would be what it would sell for if I sold it, like put it on the market today.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, so you're millionaires, and you're 26.
I mean, I guess if you put it like that.
I mean, just about. You're not quite, but you're just about. So you're doing a really, really good job. So let's clean that up, and then you don't have that burden of any kind when you're thinking about things. If a stork comes or doesn't come on schedule, then hey, we're in good shape, and we can adjust the plan accordingly if we want to. And you've got the flexibility to do that with a paid-for house. That's where you're headed. That's where I'm going to take you to, because that's going to take you to a $10 million net worth in the future. Well done. Very cool. You guys are amazing. I'm so proud of you. Good work. Man, you get started at that age, Ken, the way the math works, it just blows your mind.
Yeah. It's stupid money. I mean, you said it. $10 million is not an exaggeration.
No,
that's
I'm
where
not.
they're headed.
That's not hyperbole.
No, it is not. I want people to understand that.
That's very, very doable.
Wow. Great income, great market where their home is. To pay off a house in a Boston market? Are you kidding me?
Man, that's big time. That is big time right there. Yeah. So, it's amazing when you pay attention, and that's what they're doing. They were paying attention before they got to us.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're being intentional. It changes your whole trajectory on your money. Mm-hmm. This state running around with your head stuck in the clouds and chaos doesn't work. I just bought it because I felt, and shut up. Adults devise a plan and follow it. Children do what feels good. This is The Ramsey Show. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Matt and Michelle are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
We're great, Dave. How are you?
We're
Better
great.
than we deserve. Where do you guys live?
Just outside Milwaukee in Wisconsin.
Oh, fun. Well, welcome to Nashville.
Thank you.
And how much debt have you paid off?
$147,935.
All right. Good for you. And how long did this take?
About 18 months.
Good. And your range of income during that year and a half?
Started at about $210,000, and now we're at $300,000.
Wow, nice jump. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm in healthcare sales.
Mm-hmm.
And I work in human resources.
Cool. So why the big $90,000 jump?
For me, it was a couple of internal promotions.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm very ambitious in my career and took a couple extra jobs to get that increased income.
Ah, nice. Look at you. Well done. Well done. So what kind of debt was the 148?
You name it, we financed it.
You were normal.
Pretty normal, yeah. about 80,000 of it was student loans,
Mhm.
50,000 in cars, and then the rest of it was anything from carpet to TVs to couches, you name it, we did it.
You know, I hadn't thought about financing carpet in a long time. That used to
can.
happen a lot, though. That's very, yeah, I get it. Okay, cool. TVs even, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah, I like it. How long y'all been married?
Just about 6 years.
Okay, so a couple years into the marriage, this turns out it's not going so good on the money part. What happened? Tell me the story here. I can see it coming.
Yeah, so I after we got married, our communication on money was really poor. I took sole responsibility of kind of looking at our finances, and as you can see, I was pretty bad at it. I obviously made a lot of poor decisions, and then I would turn around and get mad about a $90 Target or Walmart charge. And,
I know a guy like that. Yeah.
and then, about 2 years ago, I woke up on a Saturday morning, beautiful day with our kids and her at home, and instead of hanging out with them, I sat in our office trying to figure out where all our money was and totaled up all of our debt. I was kind of working the avalanche plan on our big student loan and realized I dug a much bigger hole. And so a few years before that, someone at work had told me about you guys, and I never really took it seriously. And so that morning, I Googled, how do you get out of debt easy? And first name I saw was yours. And so I started listening, and probably 3 days later, I called in the show, and you actually gifted me financial peace on that day. So,
wow.
Yeah, so right around Father's Day a couple years ago. So I was on board right away, and then I had to get her on board.
Okay, so he comes in and goes, we have a mess I made. Would you go to class with me? And what'd you say?
Yeah, it took me a minute to get on board, but once we started watching some of the videos, it was actually Rachel that kind of put me on board. She, was very relatable to me. She was a mom with young kids who admittedly liked to shop and spend and eat out. So I said, you know what?
She does.
I said, you know what? It's time. Let's do it.
Okay, so you guys started watching Financial Peace University together.
Yep.
Were you in a class or just doing it at home?
Did it all at home.
Okay,
Yep.
all right, very cool.
Absolutely.
Very cool. But you did watch through the videos together and then game on and every little detail and obviously 18 months, that's pretty quick. When you first started this, did you go 18 months? No way.
Yeah, pretty much. There was a lot of stuff along the way that we kind of sacrificed on. One of the things that we did was one of the cars was a new 2020 GMC car, and even though we had already paid it off, when all the used cars went up in price, I actually went and traded it in backwards for a 2013
and got a deal.
And they handed me a check, and it took forever for them to go get it, and they were so apologetic, and they're like, sorry, normally people use their equity to trade up in car, and my loud mouth said, well, normal's broke, so.
And then it took them another hour to get your check. Yeah.
So obviously you had good income.
Yeah.
So 210 going into this. Then you guys went into hustle zone. Yeah. You were busting it. How intense did this look and feel? Give us the play-by-play when you really got serious about it.
I think we realized it was pretty serious when I came home from a Costco trip, and she realized that I turned in her name brand coffee for the cheap stuff, and she wasn't pretty happy with me.
Yeah, that happened.
But yeah, a lot of sacrifice.
You can trade your car and don't mess with my coffee.
Exactly, that's what I said. Yeah.
Your car, my coffee. This is a problem. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I think we started to realize how much opportunity there was in our budget to start really kind of peeling back. We weren't really budgeting before that, and so we started to realize all the areas we had that we could pull money out of and put it all towards that debt.
Yeah. Do you remember was there a month where you put the most away in 1 month, or was this a consistent rhythm once you got this thing figured out?
I think it was, obviously in sales there's some ups and downs in income, but I think, this past year there was a significant bonus that came through that was I think it was like a $12,000 payment or something like that. So, fortunate for that for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but
and before it would have just disappeared. Now it went to the game plan.
Yeah, that was one of the things that, to me, as I was going through it, I had some notes in my phone to just make sure I stayed the course. And one of the things that I typed down was every dollar is a dollar. And what I meant by that was just, these $50 payments start to become $100 payments. And then, it kind of adds up as you go.
Yep, it does. It does. So between the two of you, now you've really done it. I mean, you're not theory. You actually paid off $148,000 in 18 months. So people that are out there just thinking about this for the first time, they may be facing that fear you were facing on that Saturday morning, like, oh crap, I've made a mess here. What is the secret to getting out of debt? The two of you have done it.
I think communication. We started talking a lot more about, what our upcoming expenses for the month. We've got 3 little kids, and a lot of expense comes along with that. So what's coming up in the next month, and not just those random, $50, $100 payments at Target or whatnot. So the communication and just the actual budgeting instead of swiping the card and hoping it doesn't get declined was a big one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the budget was huge. We weren't doing it before, so once we kind of figured out what we would need from a Target or Walmart or a grocery store, there was never any fights about that. We had kind of dialed in the budget, and then the other thing that I certainly realized along the way was that the snowball is faster than the avalanche. And again, I was focused so much on just that student loan. I didn't realize how much of a hole we dug ourselves as we focused on that. And all of a sudden that morning, I realized how much more we had gone into debt. So you also have to just stop going into debt. Like that Saturday morning, we had a moment and said, we're not done. We're done.
Yeah.
That's it. We're done. Yeah. And the powerful thing is when you just make a decision like that, it changes the direction. Yeah. It takes a minute for the math to catch up, but something changes in the air. I mean, the spirit changes,
sure.
And it's powerful. That's powerful. Well done, y'all. Y'all are heroes.
Thank you.
That was a hard 18 months.
Yeah, we actually, our third baby was born in January, so we've cash flowed that as well along the way. And so the other piece of it too, you talk about peace all the time. We were moving our way through baby step 3, and we were almost done. And our car that hauls the whole family around, the engine went completely out, and it was wildly frustrating. But we looked at each other and just said,
we're gonna be okay.
We're gonna be okay. We got, there's money and
fix the car.
Fix the car. Yep.
No drama.
No drama.
Just used to be drama and broke and car. Yeah, and everything. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. Way to go, you guys. Very proud of y'all. Y'all are heroes.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done. Hey, we've got the Live and Give box for you. That's the Baby Steps Millionaires book. That's where you're headed for sure. If you're not there yet, you're going to be there soon, the way you guys are rolling. Way to go. And a Financial Peace University membership, you've already got that, so you'll be able to give that away. And, of course, the Total Money Makeover. And, again, that may be something you gift. But it's up to you. It's your box. We got it for you guys to say thanks for coming all the way to Nashville to do your debt-free scream. We're proud of you at Ramsey.
Thank you.
You're
thanks
why
for
we
having
work.
us.
You're why we do this. So thank you very much. Matt and Michelle, Milwaukee, $148,000 paid off in 18 months, making $210 to $300. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Yeah! That, Ken, is a power couple. Man.
It really is.
Boom.
Yeah.
Those two focus on something, there and ain't stopping them.
Oh.
Man. Boom. I love it. I love it. I love it. Heroes. Well done, guys. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Matthew 6:34. Therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. Winston Churchill said, "It is a mistake to try to look too far ahead. The chain of destiny can only be grasped one link at a time." Never heard that from Churchill. Interesting. Very cool.
The dude had a way of words, didn't he?
He's a wordsmith. Aspen is in College Station, Texas. Hi, Aspen. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call and all you guys are doing.
Thank you. How can we help?
So I have kind of an interesting question. My husband is currently in school to be a veterinarian. He graduates in 10 months. We own our house, debt-free except the mortgage, except he will be getting student loans hitting him right when we leave. So When we sell our house, we will have about $130 in equity after the sale, and he'll owe about $160. I was wondering if it would be okay to use about $40,000 of that $130 as a down payment on a house for when we move.
How much student loan debt does he have?
$160, and we are currently paying on it, and I believe we'll be about at $140 by the time.
And you get $140 out of the house, so you could be clear if you just wait to buy a house.
Yes.
I would be clear of the student loans.
Okay.
That's not what you wanted to hear, but I would be.
No.
Because I think
Yeah.
I think that here's what's going to happen, okay? You're coming out of school, you're resetting everything in your mind. You're resetting everything in your life. All the math in your life is changing. You're going from being a student piling up debt to clearing debt and starting to have some serious money. And do you know where he's going to be working yet? Has he got that lined up?
Yeah, so he's already signed a contract, and he will start off at $130. I am currently working full-time, so we're living off my salary right now, which is more than enough. So
How
the
much
plan
is your
was to take
salary?
$95.
And it'll be the same when you move?
It'll likely be a little bit higher. I'm lined up for a promotion, hopefully in the fall. I think it'll be closer to 110.
So you guys are going to be making $250,000 with not a debt in the world. And I'm saying rent for a year, and pile up a huge pile of cash and then go buy something. You will buy something different than you would stealing this $40,000 away from this student loan debt and trying to squeak into a house to go from house to house instead of renting for 1 year. You're moving to a new market. You'll know the market better. You can take your time in the purchase. You'll have the income stabilized. Your lives will be stabilized. You're going to do a lot better real estate deal, a lot more accurate real estate deal for the next 5 years than you will do if you do what you're thinking. But
Understood. That's a great point.
Yeah, but your friends are going to think you're crazy.
They already think we're crazy. It's okay.
That's okay. They're broke.
And understand your parents may say the same thing. Oh, you guys need to put a down payment. But let me tell you something. When we moved, I had 3 little ones. They were all, 8, call it 6 and 5 when we moved here 9 years ago. And Stacy and I rented for 2 years because we wanted to save up a larger down payment. And 2, we wanted to get a lay of the land and figure out where we were going to plant here. And so it is not unwise to rent. Can I just tell you, it gives you options.
For a short period of time.
Yeah, short period of time. And 2 is on the long end, but it worked for us.
Yeah. And, like I'm saying, 1 year here, you're going to know the market better. You'll take your time in the purchase. You'll make a much better purchase. And your brain is going to be in a different place making $250,000 than it was vet school and 90.
So true.
And, you'll adjust. You'll go, okay, this is the right. You're going to make a better house decision that's more forward-looking than jumping to jumping. Yeah. But everybody's so strung out about real estate. I love real estate, and I want you to be a homeowner, but I want you to do it the right way. Lee is with us, or Leah, in Boston. Hi, Leah. How are you?
Yes. Hi, how are you? Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I am 43. I just turned 43, and I am thinking of going back to school for my NP, nurse practitioner. And I just became, actually, this is all my second career being a nurse. And I'm thinking about how to pay for it. It's about $50,000. And I could pay outright for it.
Good.
However, my income when I'm in school, though it's part-time, will go down a little bit as well because I won't be working as much. So I can pay for it, but in my mind, I get scared to do that, and I'm more tempted to take out loans.
So you feel like you'll be more secure going into debt than you would be secure with a little less money. You're wrong.
I know I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong. That's the thing. I just, I'm also a mom. I have one 12-year-old.
Doesn't change a thing.
And
how much money have you got in the bank, Leah?
I have about like $295.
Yeah, and you're going to spend what on the nurse practitioner?
50.
About 50, give or probably a little bit over 50. But
you realize how ridiculous the numbers you just gave me are, don't you?
No, but the
difference in $295 and $250.
Right.
$245. In terms of taking care of a 12-year-old is laughable.
But
if you burn through $245, you're going to burn through $295.
I love this back and forth. You've gone to the but 3 times, and Dave's interrupted you. I got to hear this but. What is the but?
But I have, expenses. My rent is expensive.
Are you a Princess Di?
No.
$250,000 of expenses?
Well, no. I mean, I have, I made a lot more money before this career. Now I've gone down because I hated my job before, and now I love my job, but it came at a cost.
So Leah, hold on 1 second. Let's look at how much are you going to make less as you're going into school. How much less will you make? Have you got that figured out as take home? How's it going to change?
I used to make over $300,000.
No, that's not what we're talking about.
No, you said you
used to make
less.
$8 million, but that doesn't matter. What do you make now that's going to go down?
Yeah,
I bring home about between $7,000 and $8,000 a month.
Okay. And instead you'll be bringing home how much?
Yeah.
I would say about probably $6,000.
Okay, so $2,000 a month. That's $24,000.
Right.
Can you adjust your lifestyle to where that's not stressing you out?
Well, pull $24,000 out of your $295.
There's that
and pull
too.
$50,000 out of your $295.
Oh, right,
and keep everything exactly like it is right now, and go to school without borrowing money. You do not need to borrow money. It's insanity with your numbers.
There's also the
okay, you need to go borrow money. You should go deeply in debt. I'm tired of arguing with you. You should go deeply in debt and see if you can bankrupt yourself.
Yeah.
Oh my God, woman, how many times have I got to argue with you? This is nuts.
She's fighting hard for that loan right now.
I'm desperate to go into student loan debt. Well, go at it, lady. Go at it. That's what you need to do. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How in the world? You're sitting on $300,000 cash. And your biggest worry is a $24,000 shortfall and a 12-year-old. Jeez, you're okay.
Yeah,
you're okay.
Because you didn't get there with being crazy and undisciplined. To stack that kind of cash away,
she got there because she had a huge income, bigger than this.
She did, but she still saved it. It's not like she's going to just blow this cash.
Yeah. But no, we don't borrow money to preserve a savings account. So no. How many times I got to say this? No. Ken, good show today.
Thank you, sir. That was fun.
Austin, Ben, James, Zach, and Andrew in the booth. Well done, guys. Well done. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's Ken. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.